Now, Darryl, everyone's been talking about your Chihuahua, and I was going to run the story on it, but I wanted to get the facts straight. Now, what was the name of your Chihuahua?
Honey.
Honey.
11-year-old.
She was 11 years old.
Chihuahua.
And an antique dealer life, how long is that? Is that about 200 years old?
Probably.
And I understand now, what did she have that finally took her? Because she was a fighter, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah. But
yeah, because I talked to your mailman, and...
No, she had a bad fall down some steps, and then we realized that she was blind. We thought she had cataracts, but actually she had total blindness.
And how long do you estimate that she had her blindness?
She was probably totally blind, probably a month and a half.
Oh, so the last month and a half of her life, she was totally blind.
Yeah, and then
how did you discover that she was totally blind?
She was walking into walls, walking into doors, couldn't find her way in the house.
I see.
And then she had some heart problems, so she was on medication. She got a bad infection.
What kind of medication was she on?
She was on one pill for her heart to keep her heart in rhythm.
Do you know the name of that pill?
No, Epronil.
Epronil. So she was on Epronil.
Epronil and Lasix.
And Lasix.
Mm-hmm.
Would you know how to spell Lasix?
L-A-S-S-I-X. Or excuse me, L-A-S-I-X.
And how long was she on these drugs?
Oh, she's only been on those for probably a month and a half.
And when did her condition start to deteriorate? When did the end of the end start?
When she got some coronary ulcers over her eyes that were really bad, partly due to her infection and dry eyes.
And how were you aware of that?
Her eyes glazed right over.
So you saw her eyes glaze over?
Totally glazed over. She couldn't close her eyelids anymore. Her eyes were super dry.
And then you took her to a vet when you saw that?
Took her to the vet.
What was the name of the vet? What was the name of the vet?
Ashton Animal Hospital in Downey.
Ashton Animal Hospital in Downey.
Mm-hmm.
So you took there, and when did this happen? When did you take Honey?
She's been going to that vet for the past...
But when did you take, with the eyes glazing over, and you took her to the vet, when was that?
2 weeks ago, and then again last week. And then last week he sent me to a specialist in Buena Park.
Now 2 weeks ago, wasn't your show about 2 weeks ago? When was it in relationship to your show?
Right around the same time all this was happening.
Day before, day after?
After the show.
Okay, so a few days after your show is when these symptoms became obvious to you, and you took Honey to the vet, and then ever since then it's been on a downhill slide.
Decline, no eating, no appetite, no nothing. Force feeding her for 2-3 weeks.
How did you force feed her? With an eyedropper, or?
We have an eyedropper, and we were feeding her Ensure.
Ensure?
Ensure, E-N-S-U-R-E.
Oh, that's like a drink that old people take.
It's really good. It's really good for old people, young people. It's good for everyone.
I love it.
I love it too. So we're feeding her Ensure. We're putting her medications in the Ensure because she didn't want the medication. So we were mixing with the Ensure and squirting it in, with a little squeeze bottle. And she was also on something else called... Calpet, what the heck is it? It's a nutrition in a tube, and you squeeze Nutrical. It's called Nutrical at the veterinarians. You squeeze it and
now,
eat it.
When you were trying to feed her this, what sort of reaction was she receptive to this, or was she fighting you all the way?
Well, she was fighting food. She absolutely refused to eat food at all. She didn't like the pills down her mouth at all, but when we gave her the pills and the liquid medicine mixed in Ensure, she liked it.
So how many pounds would you say she was?
She was 3 3/4.
3 3/4 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how did you get her in the first place?
I've had her since she was a baby 11 years ago.
How did you get her?
From a breeder in Lake Paris.
Well, is there a specific anecdote that you remember, some cute little thing that she did that comes to mind?
She did many things. I can't think of one right now.
Did she ever attend one of your shows?
Oh, yeah. She used to go to Northridge all the time.
She used to go to Northridge all the time.
Her and Disher. Disher's the male, so Honey and Disher together at Northridge.
So you have a male dog named Disher?
Yes.
And how's Disher doing?
He's perfect. He's fine.
Is he a little upset over it, or?
Well, we only put her to sleep yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning.
Yeah.
And how did you do that? Did you take her down to the pound or something like that?
We took her to a place called Seacca, and
called Seacca?
Seacca. Southern California Something Animal Association, and it services Downey, Bellflower, and all that area, southern area, mid-cities kind of. And yes,
So you drove down there. Who's we?
Leah.
You and Leah drove down there, and what time in the morning was that?
10 o'clock.
So 10 o'clock in the morning.
Saturday morning.
And I guess this was a very difficult thing for you to do, knowing that.
It's a pet. It's very difficult. Yeah.
And so when did you make the decision to do that?
She'd been getting really bad, and for probably the last 5 days.
Was it a Friday night that you had decided to do that, or Saturday morning?
Must have been for sure. We knew Friday.
And so you knew that the fix was in on Friday, and that's what you must do.
And it was Thursday when we found out she's totally blind, and there's nothing we could do about that.
Wow.
And the ulcers on her corona were a very, very hard thing to fix, and to heal. And
so do you have any photographs of her?
Oh yeah.
Why don't you send me a photograph?
Absolutely.
That would be great. One, doing some cute little thing or some great expression or whatever.
Well, I sent you the ones of Honey and Disher in armadillo suits.
You have that?
Remember?
Well, it's been some time. Why don't you resend?
I've got a picture of Honey in a camping tent.
Well, why don't you find one of the cutest ones and send that to me?